Aside from my soul, there goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fall angel just walked by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul.
One, two, three, jump!
Get wild.
Chiefs Kingdom. It's time for All Chiefed Up with your hosts, Steve and Mike Williams.
You're listening to All Chiefed Up, the best damn Kansas City Chiefs podcast in the kingdom.
Chiefs Kingdom, what's up, baby? Noah Gray here, tight end for your Kansas City Chiefs. You're listening to All Chiefed Up with Mike and Steve Williams.
Kingdom ACU crew, all chiefed up, back at you with another Sunday night,
Another
7:35
update
p.m.
for that ass? Is that what we say?
Chiefs training camp update for that ass. That's what we got. That's what we got. Glad you guys could be here on a Sunday night. This is rare, Steve. We don't usually do this, but during training camp, we said we're going to pop on here and there. You got to be on your toes now. You got to be on your toes. All chiefed up might be coming at any point.
Man, we might just decide we're going to go live at the drop of a hat.
Right. We don't need much to do it. We're just like, boom, let's go. And but today, everybody was back. The fans were there in droves today. I seen somebody tweet and said it was the longest line they'd seen in recent Chiefs camp memory. It's going to be crazy this time. People are fired up for some Chiefs football, and everybody was back. Everybody was back. This was a very light practice, though, right?
Coming off of a second Super Bowl, the fans are pumped to get back at it. So I guarantee you there was a lot of people out there today. It was a beautiful day here in Kentucky. I don't know how it was out in St. Joe, but, it was like warm, but it wasn't like super hot. Nice, sunny.
Right.
Clear skies. It was nice.
Yeah, we got some pictures. We'll throw them up. Kelsey was out there today, smiling, cheesing. We had our boy Willie Gay out there. He was looking like he's ready to go. Patrick took a pic with the big uglies. Look at him, bombing them, doing the
photo bomb,
doing a little peace sign. Looks like he's trying to chop off Creed's head.
He is. He's trying to scissor his head off.
Like, come on, bro. But yeah, man, look at these guys. What a bunch of studs we have on the O-line, baby. Look at Darian Kennard back there. Our Kentucky boy just out here killing it. He's going to have a good year. Trey Smith holding it down. This is a good group. Patrick, just being Patrick. Hey, I got to start quarterback last night on Netflix.
Time.
Finally started.
Everyone else in the world's done with it, and you're just starting it.
Right.
Pickle
One episode
Rick with
in.
membership. Appreciate that, Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick, what's up, brother?
Welcome to the ACU crew. Good to have you
here. Yeah, man. The big story of the day, though. The big story. It had to be the big story. Dun, dun, dun. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid says offensive tackle Wanye Morris was a hamstring strain, so he did not play today. Kadarius Toney tweaks his knee on a punt return during warm-ups. Matt Derrick, yeah, that was it. The whole Matt Derrick thing, he said he just tweeted, with warm-ups. And then here it is. Kadarius Toney took about 5 punts. Pre-practice, walked off to the tent, did not see him the rest of the day.
Unreal. Unreal. Unfreaking real.
I know a lot of people were freaking out on Twitter, and they were like, you guys in the media, like, we're not in the media, by the way. We talk about what's in the media. But they're like, you guys are just, like, fear-mongering. No, we're not. We've been saying all year long that Kadarius Toney's one freaking knock is his injury and his health, and he can't stay on the field. And then the dude takes 5 punt return, kick returns, tweaks a knee. He's out at the first day. That's not a good sign, especially all the people attacking us saying, we didn't need D-Hop. We don't need no help.
Look, man, if you're going to be the wide receiver one, you have to prove that you can be on the field. And I understand the stuff happens. I get it. Like, yeah, maybe he actually hurt his knee. That sucks. But, the thing about it is, this is what we've all been saying. We've all been saying this. Like, oh, yeah, we're great with, Kadarius Toney being WR1 if he can stay on the field. He can't even stay on the field in freaking training camp on day one, Mike. Not a good sign for things to come at all.
Dude, that's okay. Everybody that wanted D-Hop, wanted another receiver, this and that. Jeez Louise, like, this is the reason. And until Kadarius Toney, not knocking his talent, he's got all the talent in the world, but until he can stay on the field and prove he can be healthy, and that's tough. Dude, do you think that there's any way Kadarius Toney gets through this whole season and misses less than 3 to 4 games?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm worried about.
I just don't know.
And I'm not trying to accuse this guy of anything, but I'll tell you what I'm worried about. Like, is he actually that injury prone and he gets injured that much? Or is he one of those guys where he's like, oh, tweak my knee because I don't feel like practicing all day?
Right.
Like, is he one of those guys? Cole, you are lame. Hit that button twice, my man. Good to see you, brother. But
Cole, don't be lame, Cole.
Man, no, that's my worry. Is he one of those guys that just literally just wants the paycheck and he's just gonna, my hamstring hurts, man. I'm gonna take 2 weeks off.
Look, I don't want to read into it too much. Let's just say he tweaked it a little bit. They were like, hey, it's the first day.
I'm not accusing him of that.
Nobody
just to
cares.
Clear that up. I'm not accusing him of that. That's just a worry, man. It's
you know what it caused? It caused this bad boy. Chiefs Wire. Richie James, biggest winner of Chiefs' first public training camp practice. Richie James had himself a day. A lot of Richie James guys in the comments. I think Jack Green's a big Richie James guy. A lot of guys said James is kind of the guy that everybody kind of overlooked this entire offseason of like they didn't pay attention to the signing except for when it happened. They're saying he's on the bubble. To be honest, the way I watched him today, I don't know if he's as close to that bubble as people think. I think he's on the roster as it sits right now.
Yeah, dude, I think so too. I mean, I've been saying all along I would take him over Justin Watson, but I mean, it is what it is.
Right. Well, sorry to cut you off. Pete Sweeney comes in. Pete who?
Pete's what?
Pete's what? Pete Sweeney.
Sweeney.
The offensive standouts were Richie James. There he is. And Deneric Prince. Look at that. Running back Deneric Prince, as I mentioned in a previous live tweet, Prince had at least 5 catches. And James, the new number 17, looked like the old number 17, Mecole Hardman, at times, seriously, with his quickness. He goes on to say, Andy Reid talked about Richie James today. He said he's familiar with the offense because he had Mike Kafka in New York. He didn't have to go through and learn everything here. Just maybe a few new things. I like what I've seen from him. He's a good football player, has a great feel for things. And then he says it's day one, but James looked like a player who could thrive with yards after the catch. He had 176 yak yards last year with the Giants, and you could see why. He had a few moments where the crowd reacted after making a defender miss. So it looks like Richie James come to ball out, quite the opposite of the other New York wide receiver who was in the medical tent.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Richie James, I like what he offers to this team. I think he can do a lot more than people's kind of been forgetting about him during this whole conversation about wide receivers and everything else. He's always a guy that falls to the wayside, but I think that they saw something in him. That's why they went and got him. And I feel like he'll fit into this offense. I mean, who wouldn't fit into this offense much better than a Giants offense? Let's just throw that out there right now.
Right. Cole, what's Cole say? He says, in the back of my head, I wondered if Kadarius Toney got hurt in some capacity prior to training camp. He then caught 4 punts, then went into the tent. That's a bit Florio-style conspiratorial, but I did think it. Right, Cole? Doesn't it kind of seem like maybe he wasn't even fully ready to go, and he just said, uh-oh, tweak something. Maybe he really did tweak something, then retweaked it. I mean, did he release like this video the other day where he was like cutting violently and all this stuff? I kept thinking every time Kadarius Toney was dropping one of those hype videos and stuff, I was like, that boy better slow down a little bit. He's going to hurt himself. Lo and behold, there it was.
Hey, Cole, if you're still in here, check your DMs on Twitter. But yeah, so Richie James, I'm going to go back to Richie James.
Yeah.
Do you think if he continues to have a camp like this, he's just a lock on the roster? Like absolute lock?
Yes, I think his special teams ability, if he keeps proving, again, this is day one. This is without pads. This is without defenders half the day. I don't even think they put a defender out there. So they're going against air, basically, on most of these big plays. But, yeah, I think Richie James has a better shot than you think, especially with Kadarius Toney being an injured bum all the time. Like, come on, Kadarius, let's get it together. And I say that with love. I don't hate Kadarius Toney. I like the guy.
Dude, I love Kadarius Toney, but yeah, man, I want to feel more warm and fuzzy about Kadarius Toney actually playing football. Like, I love the guy. I think his skill set is unique. I just like him. I think he's awesome. But man, he's got to be on the field. And I know this isn't a big deal. It's the first day of training camp, and it's something small. But at the same time, it's like, man.
Well, okay, look, it opened up the door for Richie James to get a little views, get some eyes on him, because we wasn't talking about Richie James a lot, but that did it. It also opened the door for this. Justin Ross takes some first team reps because of this. So Justin Ross, we had a little sighting. Also, he was out there catching punts today before practice, and everybody's like, oh, look, he can contribute on special teams. PJ Green had to remind everybody, most skill players take punts, kicks. Doesn't mean they'll take these in a game. You're never having Justin Ross and all his injuries and that neck spinal fusion.
No freaking
He's not
way.
returning. It's not doing it. He's not going to be a gunner. He's not going to contribute on special teams anyway. So Justin Ross actually has to come out and do really, really well. But they did come out. Pete even said Deneric Prince and Justin Ross are getting looks on the first team offense. So, this opened up a little bit of doors for a few guys like Justin Ross to get out there, for Richie James to be seen. So, I mean, it's not all bad. That's one positive we can take from it, Steve. It's one positive we can take from it.
I guess so. Like I said, I'm not super worried about it. It's so early, but it's disheartening. When that's your one worry about a guy, is can he stay on the field? Can he not, have little nagging injuries constantly? And then he, 4 punt returns into day one my knee hurts. Like, come on. Like, man.
Right. Well, we got a couple videos here. I'm going to show a couple of guys coming into practice today. I'll just run through them. We'll go back to back with them, and if you haven't seen it, you can have a look at them now. Here we go.
What happened?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? What's up, world?
What's up, Willie?
Feels great.
Oh, you want to sign this real quick?
Hey, dog. All right. Got you, Brian.
There's no good. There's no good.
I don't know why that won't play.
No good way of running down the hill. You just got to run down.
Yeah.
There it was. We had to get the Najee Johnson slip in. Yeah, that was just some of the intros. We tried to play them back to back to back. There's no point. It's just intros. But Sky and Rice come in. Dude, it's fun to see Sky and Rasheed Rice going out there hanging with the fans. Willie come in positive. Jody come in cheesing as usual.
Najee
Brian
Johnson
Cook.
about to bust that ass.
Yeah, he almost did. We posted that on Twitter, and Najee retweeted it. It was hilarious. Like, he was talking trash. He's like, you got to get down this, man, by running, and then he almost just falls. But, yeah, man, we've seen a lot of these guys actually come out and had a pretty good day. We just showed a thing of Fortson. Now, Fortson, I will preface what he did do by this. This is the first thing. Ron Kopp Jr. reports that Jody Fortson had 2 big drops today. One against air. Nobody was on him. In the red zone, and then the second in a 7-on-7 drill. Mahomes put it low and inside away from the defender, but he couldn't corral it. But I will say on a positive note, Fortson had 2 touchdowns for Mahomes, and surprise, both were in the red zone. First in 7-on-7s against Jalen Watson in 11-on-11. Fortson had Watson by a step and completed the catch for the would-be 6 points. So it looks like Jody was out there today. He had some good, he had some bad. I think the good outweighed the bad. I think I'll take 2 touchdown catches over the 2 drops.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I think that's what that is.
Jody's got to have a big year, man. He's one of those guys, just like Kadarius Toney. He's got to prove to us that he can stay on the football field. And he's had a lot of major injuries, though. He's not one of those little nagging injuries here and there, taking a week off, 2 weeks off. Jody, when he gets injured, he gets freaking injured. So, I mean, this guy, man, I hope he can stay healthy this year, because I think Jody, he's an awesome red zone target. I mean, you saw it right there. I mean, it's a huge advantage for Mahomes to have with somebody like Jody Fortson. So I hope he can stay healthy. And I think we're going to see more work from the tight ends this year besides Travis Kelce. They got to lay off of him a little bit. He's not getting any younger. They have to get these other tight ends in. So I think we'll see a lot more Noah Gray and Jody Fortson. And I'm excited for both of them because, like I said, Jody Fortson, he's your red zone threat. And Noah Gray, I think Noah Gray offers a lot more than people think. I don't think they fully know what he's capable of. And I think he can get out there and really surprise some people.
Right. Well, I mentioned he had 2 TDs. We actually got footage of one of them, and also there's going to be footage of Rasheed Rice catching a TD. I'll go ahead and roll that. So you can see that Fortson works the middle there. That's a pretty good one there, Steve.
With his Koopa Troopa
he's
helmet.
a big guy. Yep. Patrick rolling out of the pocket. Watch him. He finds Rasheed coming across the middle. Rasheed's going to be able to do that a lot. That's on McDuffie. Yeah. That's on Mr. Lockdown himself. Rasheed Rice beating McDuffie to the pylon. That was beautiful. That gets me a little excited to see Rasheed Rice out there busting it like that.
Well, think about it, man. Like if Jody can stay healthy and we get in the red zone and we got like Jody on the field, Travis Kelce on the field, and a double tight end set, and then you have Rasheed Rice on the field, like, dude, it makes red zone tough for a defense when you got guys that can come down with things like they can.
Right. Well, Jody wasn't the only one who had some drop problems today. Noah Gray with a few drops early on today, says Nicholas
Tight ends
Roche.
were having a rough day. They're just knocking the rust off, okay?
Right. They wasn't feeling it. But a lot of people saying Rasheed Rice wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. He didn't do his conditioning. He threw up, blah, 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 blah. Well, check this one out. Andy Reid said today rookie Rasheed Rice was first in the Chiefs conditioning test. So he actually completed his conditioning test first. So there you go. He's in shape. He's conditioned. He's ready to go. And then also the last little bit of offensive standout. Well, we had some Sky Moore standout, but I'll go ahead and throw this up for you, Steve. You might like this one. Running back wide receiver Jerry and Ely had what would have been a long touchdown distributed by Shane Buechele on a wheel route in 11 on 11s. Buechele floated the ball over Truman Jones, who had no chance at catching the speed of Ely. So that was another Spags, leak out that defensive end on the back. Jerry and Ely like tore him up. Wish we could have got footage of that one, but we did not. Did not get any footage.
Yeah, well, we have a guest here. We'll let him pop in real quick.
Oh, who is it? Is it Andy Reid? Oh no,
it's the other Red. It's the other big Red.
It's not Andy Reid. I'm super sorry to disappoint. What's up, y'all?
What's up, man?
What up,
brother?
Yeah, I saw Stephen James put in the comments. He's like, patch Cole in. I was like, why not? Let's do it.
Hey, if
It's
Cole wants
funny
to be
'cause-
patched, he's patched.
It's funny because normally I'm not available right now, but I am tonight. So it worked out. And I love pizza. So I was like, let's get it.
That's awesome.
That name.
So, okay, well, we'll catch you up. We were just running through some stuff in day one. The big story had to be Kadarius Toney getting injured. Like, you already commented about it, but what's your thoughts on that, man? Is this something we're going to have to see all season, or do you think this is just it's a nothing burger?
Or it's the first day, What do you think?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of cause for concern, even if his knee is super minor and it's like a 2-week thing and he's fine after that. It's still like, this is always the worry. You guys said at the beginning, hey, this is why people were potentially wanting another wide receiver in the room, like a D-Hop. I mean,
right.
Kadarius Toney's potential is insane if he stays healthy, but he moves so unnaturally, dude. I mean, it's crazy. It's like Dante Hall. It's Dante Hall but Dante Hall, his body stayed together. So
it's Dante Hall on crack, man. Like, it's crazy how quick he can cut. And like I think you posted a workout video of him cutting, and I was like, am I the only one that cringes every time I see that happen? Because it's just like, oh, like there goes a knee. But yeah, man, I'm with you. I think you have to be slightly concerned about it.
I mean, I am a little bit. Yeah. And again, he returned what, 4 punts or something? Yeah. And then he went to the medical tent. It was before practice even started, technically. So it was as early as it could be, dude. All that trash talk to all those Giants fans, and they're eating it up, dude.
Oh man,
I haven't even looked. Are they lighting his ass up?
I bet
on
Giants Twitter's going ham.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're loving it, dude. And what's crazy, the thing is, it could be nothing. He could be fine tomorrow. Like, we don't know. Andy Reid said, they're going to check it out. But part of me is like, if it was really nothing, wouldn't he just come back out there? Or, maybe they're trying to just really be careful and cautious. I don't know.
Right. Maybe they want to just have it checked out. Maybe they didn't have anything on the sideline, so they just want to be like, hey, after the thing, we'll run MRIs. Whatever. I don't know. Who knows? We're just making up stuff, trying to hope for the best.
I hope it wasn't that serious, all right? I hope they don't even have to check it. It's just like my knee's a little funky. But it is what it is. We got to see Richie James show out, so, I mean, there's that. That has to make you feel a little better about the day.
Yeah, Richie James looked good, man. I mean, from the limited looks we got, it's more from the reports, right?
Right. A
lot of rapport with Mahomes. Yeah, he was looking good. Multiple catches. A lot of people were comparing him to, they were saying Toney, but I don't know, Toney twitchiness. Somebody said McCole.
Pete Sweeney.
Yeah, I mean, Pete's weenie. Did you see Kadarius Toney on Twitter an hour ago respond to the Kingdom on Twitter?
No.
You see that?
No, we did not.
So the Kingdom said, can you full screen me?
Maybe.
Oh, is that possible? If not, here, you could probably, he just said on God, but Kingdom, look, this is it.
We can see it.
Yeah. It's just that it's not even worthy of a full screen, but there it is, dude.
What did the Kingdom say to him?
Kingdom said, this hurts.
Oh.
And then he responded saying on God,
that's like a confirmation of that could be something crazy, right?
Oh no.
Dude, I took it two ways. And unfortunately, I just dropped a video of the whole day, 7:20. So I missed this. I didn't see it till after it was posted. I took it two ways. He's trolling, which he really could just be trolling.
Hey, he could be hacked.
Or Yeah, he could, yeah, actually, that's actually more likely. But when he responded to "this hurts," saying "on God," I took that as it could also mean his knee actually does hurt.
Right,
dude.
Knee watch, baby.
Yeah, we're in a knee watch. We really are. Well, that opened the door though a little bit. They said Justin Ross got some first team reps. We talked about Richie James a little bit. Sky Moore apparently had himself a day. Here, I'll play this video. Sky Moore cooking L'Jarius Sneed right here. Like you can totally see him just.
I can't wait for Sky Moore this season, bro. I just can't. I think he's going to go off.
Let's be honest. If you replay this, if you watch the safety, here, I'll do it one more time. Watch the safety over the top. He would have probably lit him up. Reid could have probably lit Sky up if he wanted to, if that was full contact. But hey, man, everything looks good when they don't hit. You don't have those pads on. The pads are the great equalizer, right?
Yeah, for sure. Cole, what do you think about Sky Moore this year in the second season? You think he's going to take over that Juju role like I do? Or do you think he's still going to be pretty low-key?
No, I mean, it's so early, so I don't know because I need to see more camp and more preseason stuff. But I do think they're going to give him every opportunity to take that step up. I mean, basically last year, what was a test drive? They played him at every receiver position to basically see what he could handle. Yep. So I, from the looks today, he was getting a lot of opportunities. He was out there immediately with the ones. It was him and MVS. Now, Kadarius Toney wasn't out there, so I don't know what that could have looked like. But I'm excited for Sky. I'm rooting for Sky. You know, somebody's got to take over the Juju role. So if it ain't Sky, it could be Richie, I guess. It could be Rashee Rice, although I'm very cautiously optimistic about Rashee Rice just from the jump. Only 5 rookies in Andy Reid's offense has ever had over 550 yards in a season. Now, if injuries start to pile up and they're just like, we're going to throw, like, these guys have no choice but to step up. Aside from Sky's muffed punts last year, the limited looks he got, he had some super solid catches, dude. I mean, there was a couple times where those interceptions happened. He was off tune with Mahomes, but that should be fixed now. He's been in the system for over a year. So I'm excited for him.
Yeah, me too, man. I think he could do that Juju role because I feel like he's just as solid as Juju as far as his hands go. He catches the ball. And then I feel like he has better yak ability than Juju.
I think he's more solid with his hands than Juju. Let's be honest. I will say this. A lot of people this week were just, Clyde needs to be traded. Clyde needs to be traded. And then we learned that Pacheco is a raging bull, like we all seen, and he's hurt himself a bunch of times. He may not. They said we could start him on the pup. They didn't, but he is wearing the yellow jersey. Presumably, he says he's 100% ready to go versus the Lions, but we think they'll probably ease him back. You don't want to hurt the franchise running back here. But everybody's like, we got to get rid of Clyde. Even with that news, people are still saying Clyde's not making the roster. I think that's insanity. I've actually got some clips of Mahomes finding Clyde. Clyde was doing some work today. Check these. We got Clyde coming over the middle, what would have been a touchdown right here, shaking. Look at that little move. Look at that little.
He's so tiny. Look how little
he is. He's so little. I don't even think they see him. And then here's one. He leaks out, and then you'll see him catch the ball. Nice little catch on Willie Gay here on the sideline. So, it looks like to me, we all know Andy Reid loves Clyde Edwards. Like, he uses him. He really does. Cole, honestly, do you think Clyde's not making the roster, or is he a lock? I think he's 100% a lock on this roster.
Yeah, he's definitely a lock with the caveat of if the Chiefs trade him.
Right.
And I'll say this. Nick Jacobs, Channel 41. Did you see his 53-man roster projection today?
No.
He just dropped it this morning. So he predicted 3 running backs. Pacheco, McKinnon, and Prince. They trade Clyde, roll with 7 receivers, and John Ross is wide receiver 7. Anyway, this is why I would be very surprised if they traded Clyde right now because of Pacheco's shoulder. And then McKinnon's 31. You're going to need at least a little bit of time for Prince to get up to speed. So I'm like pretty confident Clyde is staying and will be he might be getting more reps than Pacheco at first as they ease him in, to be honest.
Exactly. Yeah. And what does Clyde even value? What does he offer to get out of a trade target? Like, what do they offer?
That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. People were commenting on that 53-man roster projection saying, who's going to want to trade for Clyde right now in this running back climate?
Right.
I mean, somebody that is like Veach, They see him as a former first-round pick. They think, oh, he would really fit well in our offense. We think, but the problem is he could fit. He's got to stay healthy. I mean, that's part of the problem. But I do think CEH is a lock. I don't know, unless they're trading him, which I don't even think a trade would happen, in my opinion, until closer to the deadline. So he's going to be there. They got to make sure Pacheco's good, dude. you can't risk that.
I don't think Nick Jacobs is the only one to tweet that out this week either. Somebody else had a roster prediction. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Zach Eisen, maybe? Somebody.
Arrowhead Addict. Yeah, I think it was.
Somebody
Yeah,
did the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Said that he was gone, 3 running backs.
Hey, I got a question. What's more surprising to you? CEH not on the roster or John Ross on the roster?
John Ross on the roster?
Yeah, that would be more surprising. Yeah.
That's insanity. That's crazy. I don't know. I can't get behind the John Ross thing. Like, he's worse than Kadarius Toney, in my opinion. It's like, God, this guy, I don't know. This guy, he may never play.
Yeah.
Hey, but
I will say this.
Go ahead.
What are your guys' sorry, man. What are your thoughts on this though? What are your thoughts on the Chiefs actually potentially rolling with 7 receivers, given the fact that Kadarius Toney, you just don't know about his health? And
I think
if they did that, that's where Justin or John Ross, you could see them like slip in, one of those guys.
100%. No, that's a great point, Cole, man. Yeah, with the question mark around Kadarius Toney staying healthy, I think taking 7, especially because we don't have the fullback anymore. That's been the talk the whole time. You have an extra spot. And I think, dude, Justin Ross won't clear waivers if we don't put him on the roster. Somebody's going to take a shot.
I honestly don't think he will either.
So I think that you have to put him on the squad. I think you just take 7 if you have to. But I mean, like you said, it's a good thing because if Kadarius Toney goes down, it takes a little bit off of it just because you have enough guys there. And like you said earlier with Rashee Rice, like if there are a lot of injuries, like Kadarius Toney and everything, maybe you see him and Justin Ross get shoved out there and thrown to the wolves like you saw the cornerbacks last year. Like, hey, you're rookies, but go get it done. Could happen. You never know.
Yeah,
1,000%, man.
Yeah, and I also think Richie James is pretty much. I mean, he's pretty he might be on the he might be straddling the line a little bit.
We know he's reliable though.
I think he's more on the last year. Yeah, I think he's more on the make side than the not make side, to be honest. And especially with Kadarius Toney, like that whole thing, that was the whole entire point of everybody. Like, I know people. Good Lord, we seen Lance Twidwell just get eat up for the D-Hop thing. But that was the whole big thing with D-Hop was like, okay, look, we need a solid number 1 because Kadarius Toney is not that guy. Like, he can't prove it. He can't stay healthy. And then he comes out and proves it within like 4 returns. So it's a scary thing, but I'm with you. That could be the reason we take the 7. You really could. Hey, would it be camp without some Matt Bushman hype, though? Did you guys
He's already got some.
Yeah, here it comes. Look at this, a wide open touchdown. Not even a guy within 7,000 yards.
A lot of people are high on him to make the squad. Hey, Cole, I know you said if you need to drop out, just drop out whenever.
Yeah. I got a few more minutes.
Okay. But, yeah, Bushman hype has been going for a while. A lot of people like him, but I think they'll take 4 tight ends, but I don't think it's going to be Bushman. I don't know.
Nick Jacobs on that 53-man roster projection had 4 tight ends, and that being Kelsey, Jody Fortson, Noah Gray, and Matt Bushman.
Beating out
Blake Bell? I don't see it.
I posted a short today saying that Blake Bell could be in danger of not making the roster. And my only reason to that is he spent almost all of last year hurt, came back and was a healthy scratch in the postseason, and he's missed almost basically all of OTAs. He had an appendectomy. I think he's back. He would have been reported as missing, or he's not limited or nothing. So I think he's fine. The chances of Matt Bushman or Kendall Blanton like actually kicking him out as tight end 4, I think it's slim, but I guess you can't rule it out, especially if they're balling out and they want to take a chance on one of these guys when Blake Bell's 31? How old's he?
He's up there.
Yeah, he's up there.
Blake Bell's up there.
I'm with you. I think if it is, it's because of his injuries and things going on with his health. Because I know they love the guy. He's one of the best blocking tight ends in football. They use him for the sneak and stuff because he's an ex-quarterback. They like different elements of him. And he actually left the team and then came back a year later. They wanted him back. He played for the Jets for a random year, right after Super Bowl 54, I think. So it's got to be health. If not, Bushman's not making it. I don't know. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, well, the offense looked good today. I mean, how hard is it to not look good when you're not really hitting nobody and you're just kind of running around? I will say a lot of people were worried about the defense. The whole Chris Jones thing, he didn't show up. Andy actually said this today. Cole, I think you posted this up.
Andy, this is the first time in Chris's career that he didn't report to camp on time. Were you a bit surprised by that decision given his track record?
Yeah, I'd probably tell you that. Yeah, I was a bit surprised.
So Andy's
I was thrown off by that.
Right. It just seems so strange that he's not there but apparently they started, according to PJ Green, KU alum Daniel Wise in Chris Jones's place, and they started him with Derek Noddy. So a lot of people are like, hey man, let's not sleep on Daniel Wise. Are we really going to that now? Are we going to trade Chris Jones for Daniel Wise? Like, dude, have you seen all the Chris Jones trade talk there's been going around? It's insanity.
I don't like it.
I didn't even share the Daniel Wise thing in my video today because I'm like, Chris Jones is going to freaking be here, so It doesn't matter. Yeah. But I will say this, the Andy Reid part was super interesting. The clip you just shared, Andy Reid said that he was a bit surprised he didn't show up, but then he had another line in his presser. He said, communication with Chris Jones was good until recently, and now it's not. He literally basically said, now it's not good. And Andy Reid did not have to say that. So he seemed kind of like frustrated / like a little bit annoyed at the situation. You guys already talked about Chris Jones at the beginning?
Yeah.
You guys? Okay.
No, we didn't.
Okay, we don't have to.
No.
Oh, you didn't?
We talked about him yesterday for a little bit, but I mean, I would love to hear your perspective on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably similar to y'all. I think it's a bit of a dramatization, a little bit of Adam Schefter's report. Maybe they are far off right now, but I think it's Chris Jones's side posturing a little bit because, sure, the Chiefs are going to want to be closer to Quinnen Williams' number, but Chris Jones wants to be closer to Aaron Donald's number. The disagreement or the sides being far off could also be guarantees. So it could be a little bit APY, but it also could be the amount of guarantees he gets. What did you guys think about? Like, how confident are you a deal gets done? Because you just mentioned like some trade talk stuff. I mean, why the freak would they trade him now? It would have had to be before the draft. It doesn't make any sense now.
Right. Well, I looked at some things yesterday, and I remember there was a rumor that the Chiefs were trying to trade up to get Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle, in the first round. And I was like, so were they planning on not retaining Chris Jones long term, and they were trying to get a solution? But then they passed up Keanu Benton and Javon Dexter in the second round. They went like 2 or 3 picks before Rashee Rice, so the Chiefs could have gotten striking distance if they wanted that defensive tackle. I don't know. I just think that they plan on Chris Jones being here for long term. In my opinion, I think they'll get something done.
It doesn't make any sense to get rid of Chris
Here's
Jones.
my question to you, Mike, Steve, whoever wants to answer it. What happens if, worst case, they don't work out a long term deal? He's under contract and he's getting fined $50,000 a day, so he will show up. But I'm like, people are saying, well, they're not going to tag him next year. It'll be a $32 million cap hit.
Yep.
So I'm like, it's basically they have to get a deal done. But that gives Chris the leverage. It's like a really complex situation, dude.
Chris Jones has every bit of the leverage. He's got so much leverage, it's not even funny right now. Like, Brett Veach is probably at home like, daggone it. I can't.
Well, you know what gave him so much leverage? 15 and a half freaking sacks last year and being our best pass rusher by far.
Do you think they were close on a number? They were waiting on Quinnen Williams, but they had kind of figured out a little bit of a number, and then Quinnen Williams signed for a little higher than they thought, and that caused Chris Jones then to be like, well, we need to go up a little bit. And now Brett Veach is like, hey, you guys are backtracking, blah, blah, blah. I think maybe that I don't know if it's so much the numbers. Maybe they're far apart on the years. Like, maybe, because you know how Brett Veach likes to do it. He likes to, once they hit a certain age, he wants to get rid of it. He backloads contracts. Maybe Chris Jones is saying, look, I want 5 years. I want to be here for life. And he's saying, well, let's do 3. Let's do 4. And maybe they're just far apart on that. And Chris Jones knows that, what is he, like 28 right now? He knows that this is his big money. He's not going to get that same big money at 32. So maybe he's playing out for the extra years, and Brett Veach is playing a little hardball with that. I don't know.
Right.
That could be my speculation.
That's my opinion. Is I think he wants a lot of guaranteed money. He wants it up front. He wants guaranteed money because he's not going to get played like some of those people have by Veach, where they backload a contract and then cut them before they get paid. That's not going to happen with Chris Jones, dude. It's just not.
Well, what's your thoughts, Cole? Do you think? Do you think he's worth Aaron Donald? Like, if he goes and says, "Look, I want $29, $30 million a year," like he showed last year he could leapfrog. Like he's at that point of the career where Aaron Donald's coming down and he's going up. He's that guy. He's the premier guy. Is he worth the Aaron Donald money? Would you pay it or would you ship him out of town? Because I would not trade Chris Jones.
I think you have to pay him.
He's
right?
Mahomes of the defense. Like he's that guy.
I mean, I commented yesterday saying I think Chris Jones is the best defensive tackle in the NFL. And of course you get comments, but Aaron Donald, I was like, look, Aaron Donald's great and he was the best, but I think he's no longer the best. He's reached his pinnacle and is on the slow. It might not be a huge down. I mean, a downslide, but like Chris Jones is DT1. And so if the best defensive tackle in the game is going to get a couple million shy of Aaron Donald, I mean, I say, what are you going to do? Here, there's a couple thoughts here. One, there was a tweet today, can't remember who said it. They said, yeah, Chris Jones might be the Tyreek Hill of the defense, but the only thing is the defense has nobody like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, meaning like Chris Jones is just that important. You can't get rid of him.
It's true.
Another thought was
I actually tweeted that out to someone today. They had said that the program is so good that we elevate players. And I was like, well, the reason the offense can do that is because Mahomes elevates the mediocre wide receivers. Chris Jones is the guy that elevates the mediocre. Yeah, he's the one that elevates the mediocre defenders. Not saying everybody's mediocre, but if you pull Chris Jones off the roster and you don't have to game plan and put 3 offensive lineman bodies on him, because everybody's like, well, what did he do in the Super Bowl? I don't know. He ate up triple teams so Nick Bolton could have a game. That's what he did. Like, that's what happens. Defensive tackles are not supposed to have outstanding stats. They're supposed to eat space.
It's just, dude, everyone said since Patrick Mahomes got here, like, imagine Patrick Mahomes' offense with a top 5 defense. They would be unstoppable.
Right.
Okay, and we're getting close to that. I think we could very well be a top 5 defense this year if things work out right.
Did you hear what Nick Bolton said?
What did he say?
Nick Bolton thinks they could be a top 10 defense this year.
Easy.
Yeah.
I think they were last year for a little while, and people were dogging them.
Hey, you're nowhere sniffing top 10 if Chris Jones don't play. If Chris Jones is not here, we're nowhere near top 10.
I'm sorry. Saying. Why would you pull? Why? Like, you've been building this defense, even in the draft. Brett Veach has been building up cornerbacks, and now he's been working on edge rushers and things like that. Why pull the rug out from under that plan right now? That makes no sense.
Hey, KL368, member for 2 months, Matt Castle. He says, shout out to KL368. He's the Matt Castle member. Matt Castle, baby. He says, real quick, will you guys name what you think our starting line without Chris Jones would look like to give people a realistic idea of what would happen?
I don't even know.
I'll tell you. You've seen it today. Turk Wharton's not healthy. It would be somebody like Daniel Wise and Derek Nottie in the middle, and you would have, Omenihu and Karlaftis?
None.
Yeah, probably.
You can't do it.
Dude, I saw something interesting. Pete Sweeney did his 53-man roster projection today.
Pete who?
Yeah, Pete's thingy. Did his 53-man roster projection today, and he listed, again, Omenihu can play both, but he had the Chiefs listing Omenihu as one of their defensive tackles to make the 53, and then they actually listed him. He listed him as a defensive tackle. I just thought that was interesting.
Right.
Like, meaning you could see at times Chris Jones or no Chris Jones, but Omenihu just kicking in, and then you've got whoever, Dana. And George or FAU and George, you know what I mean? It's not an ideal situation to not have Chris Jones. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do without Chris Jones on the D line.
Somebody reported today that Omenihu's first snap today come at DE. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? They said when they signed him, he can kick everywhere.
Spags moves them guys around. Yeah.
Right. Wink Wendell, member for 2 months. He comes up and says maybe Clark just doesn't have the cash to make Chris Jones happy. Well, here's my thing about that. We're always kicking the can down the road. We didn't pay whatever for Frank Clark. We didn't pay Frank Clark for Chris Jones. When does it run out? Like, you have to pay somebody. Mahomes took an astronomical deal that Mike Florio is crying about to this day. We're underpaying Kelce. We've got, like, you have to make this work. Like, you have to. Like, I really do think if Chris Jones walks, it kind of tarnishes – here come the pitchforks. I think it kind of tarnishes Brett Veach a little bit if he can't get a deal done. Brett Veach has a problem with major players and major contributors coming here. He wants to lowball too much. And I get it. A lot of people say, hey, lowball away, we're winning championships. But there's a little bit of luck goes into that as well. Let's be completely honest.
Somebody said something interesting, and then I got to jump off here, but they were talking about when you look at Mahomes and Kelsey, their ability to basically take less, and it's fine because they make so much off the field. Somebody made an interesting point. They said, well, that's not Chris Jones in his situation. So he's going to try to get as much as he possibly can because he's not, I don't know, and I don't even know how to check what he makes off the field, but it can't be anywhere near Kelsey and Mahomes level endorsement. So I could understand to an extent, like, yeah, he's going to try to fight for a couple more million. And people are like, well, why? I'm like, well, that's probably why. We're talking so much money that I can't even comprehend it. He's getting fined he's getting fined median salary in the United States a day for missing camp. Like, it's so much money, we can't even fathom it. But in closing, before I got wife's orders, I got to get out of here. But I really hope, and I'm still confident they're going to get a long-term deal done with Chris Jones, man. I was pretty confident they'd do it with Hill, but I am more confident that they'd do it with Chris Jones because of his importance on the defense. And there's no Mahomes, there's no Kelsey on that side of the defense. No disrespect to Snead or Bolton. Like, you know what I mean? Right. So that's kind of my thoughts, man. Can I also say something nice to you guys?
Yeah. Go for it.
I appreciate y'all having me on, and appreciate your guys' work ethic, grind. You guys are working hard. You make me want to get my brother involved so I can have another hand just helping make content. But, dude, I appreciate all that you guys are doing. And if you ever need anything, you already know.
All right, man. We appreciate you. Tell Danny we said hi, and thanks for letting us steal you for a little while. And it's always awesome chatting it up with you, bro. So, yeah, you keep grinding too. And if for some chance you're living under a rock and you're not subscribed to How About Those Chiefs, go subscribe right now. Highly suggest it.
Cole, before you
appreciate y'all, man. Yep.
Before you go, I just want to say, Forbes magazine with a little Google search says that Chris Jones has endorsement deals with Adidas, Dick's Sporting Goods, and some local McDonald's and Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. So they estimate his endorsement deal to be $500,000.
That's weak. That's weak.
That's what I'm saying. And Mahomes made $22 million, bro.
Right. So he's got to get it somehow.
Dog. Oh yeah. Well. Dang.
Maybe he can do some adult films.
Hey, Twitter's turning to X. I mean, we'd be
right. That's what I'm saying, dude. Get out of here. You're gonna get us demonetized. Cool. Later, man.
See you guys.
Oh man, that was wild. Hey, let's okay, so we had a good feel of camp. A few more things, and then we'll take some questions from everybody because I know people's fired up. Willie Gay had a good day today. I'm going to show this pass breakup he had on Sky Moore. Check that out. Willie says, nay, nay. Nay, nay. And then here it is from I'll play it from a different angle. Look at Willie. Athletic. Yeah, so Willie was athletic today, man. He looked good. McDuffie had a good big pass breakup against MVS.
Willie's got to have a good year. Willie's got to have a good year, man. He's one of those guys that are tiptoeing, are we going to pay him? You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about money all the time. Willie Gay's right there with Jerry Snead and some of the other guys. Like, he's got to come out and prove that he can play up to his potential. And I think he's getting an early start, man, because that's the kind of stuff we need him for. Be good in coverage. Be from sideline to sideline in a half second. Like, that's why we love Willie. So I think he's got to come out there and prove it. So I like seeing that.
Yeah, me too. So, yeah, man, we'll jump to some comments. If you guys got anything, go ahead and drop it. With our Cole talk and everything, I lost complete track, and I'm 300 comments behind, so there's no way I can get through that. So if you asked a question, you might want to re-ask it to us, so we'll see it now. I'm just going to go to the end of the feed. That's going to be a lot easier. But, yeah, we've seen today, man, the offense looks pretty good. Kadarius Toney's a little bit of a concern. He really is. It's got to be. But Richie looked good. Justin Ross looked good. Cole made it some time for us. It turns out to be a decent day. A decent day in the Chiefs' kingdom.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun, man. I'm just glad that they're kicking off, and you see the vets there now. Like, camp had started back, and we were already talking about it and doing like daily updates and stuff like that. But it really sinks in when you see the vets out there, when you see Patrick Mahomes with Travis Kelce on the field, instead of just a bunch of rookies. So I don't know. I'm super pumped. The only tarnish on the day is, damn it, Kadarius Toney. Come on, bro.
Man,
Don't
he's
scare us
gotta
like
get
that.
it together. He really does. But let's just hope this was precautionary. Let's hope maybe he felt something and then he goes to the. That's what I was trying to say to Cole. Maybe they took him to the tent. It's not like playing at Arrowhead or having the facilities right there. So maybe they had to get him, and you're going to wait to after practice to MRI at different things. And maybe they just wanted to be safe before they put him out there and had him actually re-injure something if it need be. But I would say they'll give him a few days off. It's the first day of camp. He can miss 3 or 4 practices. Okay, look, if you miss more now, cool. Miss it now. Don't miss it during the season. How about that? We'll roll with that one.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this up here. Julia Gulia is back in her original form. I still like that. I liked the Ruby Soho as well, though. That was pretty cool. I knew it was you, though. I knew it was you. And she says hi to Stella and Charlie. We'll make sure to let them know that you said that, Julia Gulia.
We will. We will. I actually found some puppy pictures of Stella the other day, and she was cute. And I was like, I bet Julia Gulia would like to see those.
David Miller. David Miller, what's up, David? He says, what do you think Tampa would ask for Mike Evans? Mike, what do you think?
Right. We kind of looked at that the other day. He signed a pretty big contract.
Yeah. He's owed a lot of money.
Yeah, so he would probably have to restructure coming here. What would they want for him? They would probably want at least a second-round pick, but because of his age, I think that Brett Veach could make something work for maybe the second, because we're considered to be picking late in every round. So maybe our late second would be considered a third.
Right.
So maybe a late second. You can maybe swindle out a third.
Mike Evans, love him or hate him, he's one of the most consistent receivers in the entire league, dude. Like 1,000 yards every year. Like the guy's just automatic. So that'd be a huge acquisition for the Chiefs if they were to pull that off. But I just don't see anything like that happening as they sit here struggling to get Chris Jones wrapped up, right? Like they're going to have to make a decision on Chris Jones. How much are we going to pay him? He's not going anywhere. So how much are we going to have to pay Chris Jones? Let's find that out, and then we'll think about other things. But I think that's kind of what put a damper on the D-Hop pursuit, to be quite honest about it. It's Chris Jones. They just couldn't get where they needed to be with Chris Jones. So they were like, hey, we're out, bro. And he's like, darn,
dude,
off to Tennessee I go.
But I'm telling you, the Chris Jones thing is the one thing that's kind of concerning. Like Cole said, with Andy Reid coming out today and saying that talks were fine and then they just recently got bad. What does that say? Usually Andy Reid don't come out and say things like that. So that's scary. He could be trying to put it out there like, look, Chris, I'm talking about it publicly. Like, get it together. Like, your agents are being kind of, D-bags about it. Like, are they just posturing and trying to get as much money as they can, which I feel like they are, but it's like, what's going on? Is Brett Veach like, look, I'll give you Aaron Donald money, and then they're saying, well, we want more than Aaron Donald. We did better than Aaron Donald last year. Like, are they doing something like that, or is it really like Veach won't even get up to like 27, 28 million per? Because if that's the case, Veach has got to do it. The Chiefs are starting to become a franchise that people are looking at from the outside in, and they're saying these guys aren't paying anybody. So why do these big guys want to sign here? Why do they want to come play here?
Well, that's the thing.
I get that we win,
People point to the Patriots dynasty. Like, oh, well, they never paid anybody. But I'll tell you what the Patriots did do. They made sure that defense was solid. Like, solid. That was the main thing they did. Tom Brady always had a top 10 defense. Always. So, I mean, you just can't mess with the defense. Messing with Chris Jones is messing with our defense completely. I just don't think there's anything to worry about. I think they'll get it done. And they're going to have to pay him. End of story.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have to. I don't know how fast it gets done, but Chris Jones does have to get back in. If he misses all of camp, it comes out to $2 million. Now, again, if you're going to make $29 million a year over 5 years and pull in over $100 and some million, is $2 million really that much money? So maybe he does hold out a little bit longer.
HD Chiefs fan says, I will definitely be rocking an ACU shirt for a day while in Germany for the game. That's freaking awesome, dude. Let's go. Awesome. If you guys want to rock some ACU merch, just go to merch.allchiefedup.com and grab you something, man. All the proceeds go towards going back into the channel, helping us do our thing. And there's some cool stuff over there. You can actually see it right here on Facebook. I think there's some pinned to this video. But yeah, go check it out. And that's awesome, man. We appreciate that. Any way to get the word out and help. If you're new to the channel and it's first time here, welcome. Get in the chat. Don't be afraid to get in the chat. We have an awesome community going. So do that. Hit that sub button. Hang out with us more often. And if you guys don't care, take 5 seconds. Go hit that like button. It helps us out. And this is awesome. Just kind of spur of the moment live. Just to talk about camp a little bit. And yeah, we got Cole in here for a minute. He came and hung out. That was fun. I saw where people were like, no heads up on having Redbeard on. And I'm like, it wasn't planned. It was just
that was very spur of the moment.
Yeah. So it was cool that worked out.
It was like the night we were on here with Matt Lane from KC Sports Network, and then Darian Kennard dropped in.
He bombed us, right?
Like Darian Kennard just bombed us, man. Like we didn't know he was popping in, but he did.
Right. Dan Weller says, do you suppose KT is trying to get out of Andy's tough training camp? That's what I was saying earlier. I don't want to think that about him, and I'm not accusing him of that. But at what point, when a guy constantly has little tiny nagging injuries and needs to miss a week, needs to miss 2 weeks, do you start looking at it as, do you think this guy just wants the paycheck and he don't?
That's what the Giants thought.
Right. Right. And I don't think that about KT. I think, I don't know. We'll see. It's yet to be determined, but it's not looking good for him. I think he's got to remember that things, especially for a guy in the spotlight like he is, that could be a wide receiver one on the defending Super Bowl champions. There's a lot of perspective involved. You have to remember how people are looking at you and what you're putting out there. And this is not a good look for him, whether it was a real knee injury or, something bad or something minor, or he didn't want to play today because, he didn't feel good because he hasn't been out in the heat for, months. Whatever it might be, he just has to remember how, he's under a microscope.
Yeah, for sure. Scott writes and says, is Chris Jones just slow rolling it to miss some camp? I wouldn't blame him for avoiding potential injury in a contract year. Yeah, that's the thing. See, a lot of people are saying, hey,
why would you pay that much to avoid it?
But they're saying, okay, well, this is the thing. They're saying Chris Jones has to play this year. He's under contract. Yeah, you're right. It does him no good to hold out. You've seen Le'Veon Bell do that, and it killed his career. Everybody knows that. So the Chiefs have that's the only thing the Chiefs have going for them. The rest of the advantage is on Chris Jones' side. It really is. But you got to look at this from both ways. It's a business, so I get the Chiefs don't want to break the bank, and the Chiefs can't pay for this, and the Chiefs can't do that. That's not necessarily true. You give Chris Jones his contract, yes, down the road you pay for it, but in the short term you free up things to be able to sign different things.
Right.
That's just what happens when you win, man. If you win, you've got players. Like we're going to have to sign Trey Smith. We're going to have to sign, Creed Humphrey and Nick Bolton. But that's what happens when you have good draft classes. Like, could you imagine in 3 years when we have to start giving McDuffie and Josh Williams and Jalen Watson some extension? And that's Pacheco as well that year. So, I mean, that's just what happens. Like, imagine paying that draft class in 4 years. It's going to be insane.
I clicked the wrong thing. I'll get back to Ty in 1 second. But a 5-bomb from Kitten Videos. We appreciate you. Thanks for the support. It says, how many seasons can Mahomes be an effective scrambler? I think Mahomes is in his prime right now, and we're probably looking at a good, 7 years of prime Mahomes. And that's just another reason that you don't really waste those years by being cheap or whatever it might be. You can't take too many chances because you only have Patrick Mahomes one time. And that's all there is to it. Wouldn't you agree, Mike?
Yeah. We got to get Patrick Mahomes the weapons, especially with Patrick Mahomes taking such a good contract so you can spread the money around. You got to pay Chris Jones.
Right.
Mahomes takes he's going to restructure his contract again so we can have more money to pay those things. Mahomes don't want to be the guy that takes all the money and then us not pay it, but Brett Veach is going to have to be smart in how he distributes the money.
Absolutely. What's up, Ty? Just want to say hi. He says late getting the memo on this live. We just kind of threw it together at the last second, man. So just during camp, we might do this from time to time, but I'm glad you made it in. Better late than never.
Steve-O with the 10 bomb.
With the 10 bomb.
Throw some legendaries in the chat for Stephen James. He is legendary. Y'all know Andy bounces off reporters' questions in that turnstile creative way. Like, it was looking pretty grim out there. Coach, what did you tell the players? Don't worry. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what Andy said might have been just a message to Chris Jones, too, of like, come on, man. Like, get here. I'm disappointed in you. You don't want to disappoint Big Red. That's like disappointing Santa Claus. You don't want coal. You don't want coal in your stocking.
Man, I tell you what, I just think it's going to get done. And this is not the first time. Last time they were going to extend Chris Jones or whatever, he missed a lot of camp. We were there, actually, the first day of the game. And we went late. So it is what it is. And the thing about it is a lot of people are like, well, we don't have to extend Chris Jones because he's still under contract for a year. The problem with that is the cap hit that comes along with Chris Jones not getting extended. It's saving us money. It's kicking the can down the road too. It's in him. It's in our best interest right now. That way we can free up some cap space. And then even if he plays on contract this year and say they were to tag him next year, it's like $32 million for a tag. That's an insane amount of cap space for one person.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know. This year he's offering a lot of cap space. By the way, what is it? Let me find it. Chris Jones, he's eating 12.8% of the cap right now. So with 12.8, like Chris Jones right now is a $28.3 million cap hit. Like he really is. You have to get that down. You have to get it down. And for Florio saying that Mahomes has got a bad contract, Mahomes is eating 18% of our cap. Like it's crazy the amount that he actually does eat, and it's still a good contract. But I don't know. I can't. Julia asked how many players are on contract a year or due for an extension next year. I can't. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but you do know that you've got Creed and you've got Nick Bolton. That's the class that's coming up. L'Jarius Sneed. And that's what we said. Would you rather have Creed, Nick Bolton, L'Jarius Sneed? You can't keep all of them, presumably. So I think at that point, is it Sneed the one out the door? We're too deep at DB. Like, I would rather have Creed. Willie Gay's probably gone. Willie Gay's going to have a great year, but I just don't see how you can sign all these people. And that's the downfall, man. You have a good team, right? You build a good team. These players, they expect to get paid at some point. You got to start all over. And technically, the Chiefs are in a rebuild. Steve said this time and time again, like, we were supposed to be in a rebuild last year. So, we're rebuilding.
But I know nothing, Mike. Matt Smith says so. He says, Steve, you said D-Hop would sign. You know nothing. Well, I mean, if you didn't see that he was literally waiting around for the Chiefs to make him an offer, then you're crazy. I think if the Chris Jones thing hadn't gone the way it had gone, he would have gotten an offer from the Chiefs, and he'd probably be a Chief. But, I mean, no one's picking Ryan Tannehill because, yeah, I want to play with Ryan Tannehill. So, yeah, so I'm not a mind. Like, I can't predict the future, but all the signs were leading to that.
Yeah. Dude, everybody, everybody comes to everybody.
Hey, you have to stand on some kind of a hill.
Yeah. But yeah, Matt Smith also says, what about Stephon Diggs as a weapon? Dude, Buffalo will never. Okay, look, Steve wanting D-Hop was more of a reality than getting Stephon Diggs. Let's be completely honest. They would have to cut
not
Stephon
trading
Diggs.
him to the Chiefs.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like that, you're out of your mind if you think that's happening. There is no way. Samuel Elson said, "What's up, Samuel?" He says, "What did Toney injure? It was his knee. They were saying it was some knee problems."
Tweaked. They said he tweaked his knee. That was the language they used.
So we don't really know. Nobody really knows, to be honest. Let's hope it's not nothing crazy.
Tilly Train says, "I can hear the Giants fans already. I guarantee they're having a field day." I mean, do you blame them? After you can't get out there and talk trash and then turn around and do that. You're going to get owned.
Yeah. The Giants are probably having a good time. I would say them and Mike Florio probably together having a good weekend. They probably had the best weekend of anybody in the country. Right? Florio and the Giants fans. They may have hosted a little party, a little shindig.
Having a little get-together?
Probably
having a little get-together.
Okay, guys, well, we're going to jump off here in just a few minutes. Go ahead and get those last few questions in. This was a surprise Chiefs camp update. Again, we'll run through a little bit of what happened today. Kadarius Toney tweaked his knee. Turk Wharton still rehabbing. They were the only two that really didn't play besides Wanye Morris. He tweaked the hamstring a little bit. Richie James, Justin Ross got some first-team reps. They look pretty good. Sky Moore had a good day today. Rasheed Rice had a good day today. Jody Fortson had a good day. Noah Gray and Jody had a little drop problems. Matt Bushman had a touchdown today. And the defense looked pretty solid. You've seen some good pass breakups from Willie. You've seen some good pass breakups from Trent McDuffie. Snead got torched today, per usual, by Sky Moore. And then, yeah, that was about it. That was the highlights of the full day. I do have this one to show, Steve. Check out this one.
What we got?
Here's the McDuffie pass breakup by MVS. Let me show that for everybody too, really quick. So Mahomes, he's trying to hit him on a little, little fade. Bop, not today, says Trent McDuffie. Nay, says McDuff.
Hey, the warden, the sheriff. What are we calling this guy?
I don't know. We don't have a name. He's the yeah. And then here's Mahomes being Mahomes. Here we go. Mahomes takes it. He just throws one up from about 50 yards. and then clanks the goalpost. Look at that. Mahomes is unhuman. Like, he is just really unhuman. Like, to have a gun like that and to be so precise. All the people over at Madden that said he don't have any accuracy, he can hit the goalpost from 50, baby. Like, I don't see Josh Allen doing that. Get out of here.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. It'd be different if he was out there doing it over and over again. It wasn't. I feel like he does this crap on the first try.
Yeah. I don't think he threw twice. I think that was the first one. Jared says, save Pacheco for the playoffs, play the rest of the boys. Mm. Again, Clyde Edwards-Helaire ain't going anywhere.
Right.
Cole pretty much said the same thing. Like, all these guys over here at Arrowhead Addict and all these different places coming out and saying that Clyde is gone and they're predicting a trade, you're out of your mind. You can't do it. Steve, are you ever getting rid of Clyde Edwards-Helaire knowing that Pacheco's coming off of 5 surgeries and his everything hurts?
It's not a smart idea. No.
McKinnon's 30-something years old with nothing but injury history his entire career. It just doesn't make any sense. You can't just rely on generic Prince. I get it. Pacheco did it last year, but you just still can't keep doing that all the time, man.
Right. Check this out. Chief Kelsey, what's up, my man? He says Chiefs 2022 season recap is on NFL Network at 9:30 tonight, Central Time. So, yeah, catch that if you want to. That's awesome.
Right. So that's going to be in about 55 minutes. But, yeah, I guess that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for being here, guys. Like, this was impromptu. We had Pickle Rick became a new member. We had a couple new members today. Kitten Videos for the 5 bomb, Stephen James for the 10. We appreciate you guys. Cole coming in. We appreciate Cole stopping in short notice. That was awesome. But, yeah, man, we're just trying to keep doing work. We're trying to pump out some updates, trying to give you our perspective of what's going on. And we'll probably be back tomorrow with a little bit of some camp updates, maybe live again. If not, we'll have a video tomorrow evening. So if you're new here, be sure to hit that sub button, click that bell so you know when we're going live. And we appreciate you guys, man, for real. You guys are the reason we do this. Like, you guys support us and keep us pushing. So we
hit that like
you guys
button on the way
here.
out if you don't care. That'll help us out. And, yeah, like Mike said, appreciate you guys. And you all have a good night, and we will catch you tomorrow.
Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.